Okay, so I come from Punjab, from a very small village called Sanewal, where Dharamji also came from, Dharmender. And when I was a kid, I used to hear stories about Dharmender coming to the village, sitting under a tree, visiting his old house, crying in the night, and leaving that place, reminiscing all the good old days that he had. And I used to wonder, why does he not meet everyone? And I would have so loved to meet him and sign autographs and all that stuff. Actually, when I became an actor, I realized I'm doing exactly the same stuff, because it's reminiscing your good old days. These days that you have now, sitting here at this moment, I think are the bestest days of your life. Because then life's going to take over. And I was with the IAS Academy students the other day, just with them, and their teacher just went off and she said, "Such lovely, fair-looking girls. I don't know how they'll manage the IAS seats." And I said, life's going to teach them, because it does eventually, everyone. And so I was an ardent Bachchan fan. I'm sure a lot of you are. Are you? Yeah. So I used to tell my mother's dupattas and saris and all that stuff, and I used to call my neighborhood kids for gulab jamuns and samosas and tell them, "Listen, I'm going to perform on the stage," which used to be a little bed, and you just see and applaud. And though that applause that came by, I think, kind of became an intrinsic part of me, and I knew, though coming from a family of doctors, I wanted to be an actor. And that was my freedom of thoughts, of wanting to do what I wanted to do, of chasing my dreams. And that's what I think gradually I did. I was the head girl in school and college in Ludhiana. And so a certain decorum was expected of me a good 20 years back. So in the class, I think one day the teacher said, "What does everyone want to become?" So everyone got up and they said, "Teacher and engineer and all that stuff." And I got up and said, "I want to be an actor." And there was pin drop silence in the class. I was taken to the principal. I was reprimanded. And, but somewhere that belief, that freedom of wanting to do what I wanted to do, kind of became stronger. And many years later, when that dream actually came true, I saw the same school buses from Ludhiana coming to my house, getting all those students to visit me and saying, "Listen, this little one is very, very talented. Do you think something can be done about this one?" So I thought life has really come a full circle. As far as... Bye. Thank you. As far as the film career is concerned, I never had a stereotypical career. I came with those dreams in my eyes that I'm going to be that heroine. When I came here for my competition, which was a Stardust competition with my mother, it was a secret affair. Nobody got to know about it. And I had the who's who as judges. There was Shekhar Kapoor, there was Yash Chopra, there was Suraj Barjatia, Subhash Ghai, and I was performing in front of them. So I froze. But I just saw my mother there who said, "Just chase your dreams, follow them." And I just performed, and I didn't know what's going to happen because all those girls were tall, beautiful, pretty, like straight out of the fairyland. And I had only come with my dream. That, hello, I believe in it, there's passion for it, and I'm going to chase it. Gradually I got selected, and when I came here, I realized the industry is a lovely place, but here nobody says no to you. That's the most interesting part, which even you guys need to know about, because we come from very protected backgrounds. You'll go home, your mother's going to ask you, "Beta khana khaya, ye kiya, wo kiya." But when you go out, you have to look over yourselves. You have to fend for yourselves. And that is what I gradually learned. I went to all the offices. They said, "A very cute girl, looks like Manisha Koirala." So, do I? So that time I did. So now they call me, I look like Vidya Balan, which I don't want to. So anyways, my face is changing, I think. So I went to all these offices and there were lovely people and they said, yeah, signing amount is here because here you never know what tomorrow holds for you, who's very successful, who you might meet tomorrow. So nobody's bad to you. They're very lovely to you, but they will not start working with you immediately. But I was so naive, I was so innocent. I was like, I called my mother and said, "Mom, I'm doing 22 films. And none of them started. And then I was like, how will I become a heroine? What will happen of me? And I got frustrated somewhere. So my mother said, do those people know that you're a good actor? I said, no. She said, how do you think they will know that? I said, I don't know, they should give me a chance and I should become a heroine and I should be opposite Shah Rukh and I should be opposite Salman. And she said, but do you have a godfather? I said, no, ma. She said, so who's going to believe in you apart from me? So I was like, okay, then what do I do? She said, take those roles that are coming your way, which were smaller roles, but very significant roles that were not the lead roles. The first role that came my way was Lead Zara. And when I went to sign this up, Yashji was sitting in front of me and he narrated the role and my face fell when he said, it is Preeti's friend's role. So I was like, friend's role in a Yash Chopra film? Matlab, suicide. Absolute. Career hierarchy. Go on. So they said, then Aditya Chopra came in and he said, trust me, this film you will be remembered for all your life and you will be a favorite with people. And this girl is lovely, thank you very much. So then something about Aditya made me say yes, and that began my journey onto proving myself with roles that weren't really the roles I wanted to do, but I had no choice but to prove myself. I had freedom in just that much, and I had to make those roles an X factor. Now everyone asks me, how do you make your roles X factors? How are you always remembered for the roles you do? Because I think this is it for me. I have to prove myself with this. And gradually, I'm 40 now, I'm romancing my heroes now, I'm playing all kinds of roles, what I should have done in my 20s, I'm doing it now. So it's lovely, it's like party time for me because I'm playing a negative, I'm doing a comedy, and my audience is allowing me the freedom to choose my roles and do exactly what I want to do because they expect that different stuff from me. So this is lovely. And also I think I had a major crisis in my life about 2 years back when I lost my mom. And she was like a huge pillar for me. And I think anything that would ever happen to me, good or bad, I would fall back on her. Suddenly my support system was gone. And again, that freedom of expression, that wanting to say what you wanted to say, became very, very integral for me because I decided to write a book, which was called Me and Ma. I sat in the hospital saying, I want to celebrate you, Mom, because I think for me you've been the best mother in the world, and I must celebrate you. And my readers must know who am I apart from being just an actor, and who made me who I am. So that book, children, I would love it if you guys read it as well. But I think all these expressions that have happened, there are two careers I feel that are so beautiful, and I belong to both of them. That is acting, expressing yourself again, writing, expressing yourself again. So I'm so glad and delighted that I can do what I feel like doing, express myself as much, play different roles, become different people. When I look into the mirror, see a different woman every time. So it's great. So I think that's a lovely journey.
And so, how much of acting is actually expressing yourself? I mean, in your whole career, you must have come across some roles that you have to play which you don't necessarily agree with. You don't agree with the people that you have to become in that role, or you have to portray somebody you just don't believe in. Has that happened, and how do you deal with such situations?
I'll share a secret I haven't shared with anyone. I had big issue saying those typical dialogues like, can somebody name me a few dialogues from a few years back which were very typical and cliche? Bachao. And so I was doing a film with Dev Saab, okay, and everyone's an ardent Dev Anand fan. So I had to do it just for the sheer experience of just standing by his side. He was that great a personality. But when he directed me, he told me, say nahi. Now nahi, when he said, I remembered Hemaji saying nahi, and I remembered Zeenat Aman saying nahi, and I was like, oh God, I'm going to belong to the same category saying nahi. And so I kind of made it more subtle. So I said nahi. He said, no, that is not the way to say. You have to take it out. And I was like, what am I doing? But I had to. But what I did is, I really enjoyed myself. The sheer fact that I was with a man who I really wanted to be with, and this is a part of my journey. I think I learned it from Amitabh Bachchan. He'd do the most unconvincing things so convincingly that you think this is it. I mean, this man is right. So for me, he has been like somebody I really like to follow.
And you know, there's this age-old debate of whether cinema is meant to entertain more or inform more or talk more about the society. What do you think? What do you see cinema as?
कि जब आप खाना खाते हैं आप कहते हैं कि मेरा पेट भर जाए कि सिर्फ स्वाद लगे खाना कि हेल्दी भी हो. It has to be all of everything, right? So the main concern, of course, it has to be entertainment because you're paying a certain amount for the ticket to enjoy yourself, to forget what you're doing, have another reality out there which is larger than life, which is another person's story, well expressed, well told. And then it has, if it brings in a nice message, like all of Raju Hirani films, if you see, there's a lovely little message built in there, written there, which is not in your face, but you say, and for me it's become like a lifeline thing. I love a Jadoo Ki Jab Bhi till date. I mean, for me it works like magic. So that came from that film, from Munna Bhai. And that was really entertainment. And as far as social issues are concerned, I think we all reflect, it's mutual. We pick up from the society and the society picks up from us. So I think it is
Symbiosis.
Absolutely.
Any questions at this point? Yeah, a question at the back.
Do they have a mic?
Yeah, can somebody get a mic to her?
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. I just wanted to ask you, whenever we tell our parents that we want to do a career in acting, their first reaction is, "Nahi beta, stable nahi hai job." So today you have a blockbuster film and tomorrow you might have nothing. So as you said, what you wanted to do in your 20s, you're doing at your 40s, which is really nice. But can you please tell us what the struggle was and how you dealt with that struggle?
So when your parents tell you that, they're absolutely right. This is a lovely profession to belong to, but it also is the most unpredictable one. It is not your 9 to 6 job where you get a set pay in your hand and you say, okay, I'm very secure. Today, you might be the biggest star. Tomorrow, you might have a downfall because your Friday hasn't worked for you. Or today, you might be a nobody and tomorrow, like, the person is like a huge star. You never know what happens tomorrow, but that also, I think, is the fun of it. That is enjoyable. As far as I don't like that word struggle at all. So I would say my highs and lows, everyone has them. But I had a choice of, I was never short of work. It was the kind of work that I wanted to do and I didn't want a set image. My battle was against not being typecast. Because after Veer Zara, I sat at home for a year because I was flooded with roles which were Punjabi, vivacious and all that. And then Rakesh Mehra called me saying, I want you to play Jalebi in Dilli Che. And I said, I was so frustrated by that. I said, is that a Punjabi role which is vivacious and everything? He said, no. And I said, why are you offering me that? Nobody else offers me that. So he said, because I think you can pull it off and you'll do it very well. So I just got to know there are two kinds of directors, one who follow examples and one who set examples. And I started working with people who set examples. And so that has been my major thing with my own self. To choose to work with people who see me differently, present me differently, and also make a difference.
Nisha?
Ma'am? Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, fine. A question.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I had a very small question because now also when we go to people for things that, when we hear that there are small roles, tera ye role hai, tera wo role hai, people till now get disappointed that shit, meko chota role mila. And I, as an individual, don't believe that chota role hota hai ya bada role. A role is a role. Because even you were disappointed, or you also didn't felt nice when you got a friend's role. Even till date, a lot of people, a lot of actor or artists get disappointed when they get to know that मेरा एक छोटा सा role है, या मेरा सिर्फ 1 minute का part है, या etc. So, what would you say that is it good or bad that if I get a small role, or is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Guys, have you heard this question? Yes. Can I have all yours here, please? Thank you. I appreciate it. So, his question's been, are small roles significant enough to hold on? I'll tell you a very interesting incident I heard on Om Puri's death. There were different people coming and narrating incidents. And he was auditioning for Gandhi. And another of his peers just came and asked him, "Bhai, कौन से role के लिए तू गया था?" And he said, "मैं उस role के लिए गया था." So the friend said, "But वो तो एक ही scene का role है, उसको क्यों करना है तुमको?" He said, "मैं एक scene करूँगा, मैं उसमें फाड़ते जाऊँगा." And that scene was always remembered for what he did. It's the impact of the actor. Of course, you need that role to be important enough, even if it's short on then. Then you have to add your own, that X factor, to make it even more special. I think I've done that. People have to notice me. That's a zid on my part. It's like I have to do something which is noticeable. And when you have smaller role, you have to prove yourself all the more, because 10 scene नहीं है कि prove कर जाओ, वो 3 ही है, उसमें ही जादू करके जाना है. So I think it kind of balances it out.
Ma'am, can I just ask a very small question on you, ma'am? If ma'am, I'm a great fan of Irfan Khan, and you just did a movie with him, Blackmail. You didn't have a much frame with him, but how was your experience with him?
I've done 4 films with him, played his wife in 3 of them. This film, I had nothing with him. But I think for me, his eyes work wonders for me. They are magical. He's a brat, he's naughty, he's fun. And what I love about him is he is so unpredictable. He keeps the other actors on the edge. You don't know what he's going to do just the next moment. So if you're alert, you will have a blast working with him. And I just hope he just comes back really soon and gives us all the beautiful cinema he really needs to give us.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm also a big fan of your work. I'd like to ask you 2 questions. The first being, you said you do not have a godfather in the industry. So how did the industry take you in? You said you signed your first one with Yash sir. So like, was it really the stereotypes people claim it to be, or it's really different from the stereotypes the public has heard so far?
So Yash's film wasn't my first film. I started off with Multi-Starers, where I was one of the lead roles. I had 2 songs to play and 2 scenes. That's exactly how much I got. And I had to look pretty and glamorous and all that stuff. So I got 2-3 of such films, and then I thought I'm not enjoying it. I loved the dances, but I didn't enjoy it as much. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I loved the movie Bhag Milkha Bhag, loved your performance in that. On personal note, what difference did Bhag Milkha Bhag, make in the choices of film that you were going to choose in the future? And it was widely appreciated by the critics. So how do you see Bhag Milkha Bhag as one of your performance in your journey so far?
It is one of my most important films, and again Rakesh Mehra came with this film. And he said it's his sister's role. I don't know why they come and brand it for me first. It's the friend's role, it's the sister's role. So I was like, whose sister? So he said Farhan's. Then I was totally heartbroken because I really like Farhan very much. So he then said, listen, you're an actor, okay? So just do it and do it very well. So this film, on a serious note, has been a very magical thing on the set. Lots of improvisations happened here. Do you all remember the earring scene in the film?
Yeah.
So that scene, I was wearing shorts and I went to the set. And we didn't know how to begin the scene. We had the scene in our hand, but I didn't know how to begin it, neither did Farhan. So we were thinking, kya kare isme? So suddenly Rakesh told me, go change into your costume. That's the day I realized the importance of your costume that you wear. And I came into that salwar kameez, my body language changed, the way I sat changed, the way I behaved changed. Suddenly that dupatta was on my head, I became a different person. And Farhan came with this beautiful idea, listen, I'll come in glasses. And I said, okay, then I won't recognize you. And that became the opening of the scene. And then we didn't know how to end it. And Mehra didn't come to tell us how to end it. I realized that day that we all have subconscious memories. But I also have a subconscious memory as a role was the first time that got revealed to me, because I had done a scene as Isri with the younger Milkha where the father salutes him. And that kind of was embedded in my head, I didn't know. So when I hugged Farhan, I didn't know how to end the scene, and suddenly that kind of came into my head and I just saluted him. And everyone was pin drop silence, nobody moved, he forgot to say cut. But we got our end. I'm saying I learned a lot here. Nobody used glycerines in this film. scenes just worked. They were so beautiful and real. That little child, sometimes I would tell Rakesh, sir, isko bolo na thoda sa achhe se react kare. He would take him for a walk, and that boy would come back a different boy, and he would be just magical. So that film, I think, told me to live a role rather than act it out. So yeah.
How important is it to be a Kapoor or Khan or a person with a lineage in the film industry? How this whole debate about nepotism. What do you think about it?
You'll get your first break beautifully, but then it's your journey. It's these people, the audience, which decides if they like somebody or not like somebody. You might get another chance, but again, it is your journey. Who are the top stars these days, guys? No, Deepika Padukone, outsider, Kangana Ranaut, outsider, Priyanka Chopra, outsider. Ranveer Singh, yes, I heard you, darling. Ranveer Singh, yes. I'm sorry, I ignored him. And the biggest of them all, Shah Rukh, outsider. So I'm saying they've all made their mark on their own. यहाँ पे लिखा होता है होगा कि नहीं होगा, फिर आपके अंदर भी होना चाहिए, और फिर वो बस इनिशियल 2 मौके शायद नहीं मिलेंगे, बाकी तो it's your journey.
There were a couple of questions there.
Have you ever faced the dark side of the industry, and what is it like?
You mean harassment, sexual harassment, casting couch?
Yeah.
That's what you call the dark side? Okay. It's everywhere. It's everywhere where there is ambition, where there are opportunities. Go anywhere outside, you'll find it there as well. It's my choice to say no. I've chosen the longer route. It took me like 15 years to come and make my mark. I went my way. I chose the smaller roles. I did what I had to do. And no godfathers. So it is a longer route, but it's more peaceful. When you look back, you think it's my journey, it's my path, and I enjoyed it. My mistakes, my accomplishments, my failures, my success, everything mine. So today when I win a national award, after 20 years of being here, it feels great.
Question,
Yes.
please, can you speak into the mic, please?
Dark side as in like underworld pressure. The stars it is like.
Oh, it's from Dubai.
Ma'am, do you feel that
After
as...
5 years is a generation.
Okay, fine, then taken. Alright. 5 generations.
Do you feel that throughout your journey, has industry as a whole become more tolerant towards speaking up about its flaws now, or was it more tolerant back in the day when there were less number of people in the industry?
It has its pros and cons. There were less number of people earlier. There are more now, but also there's more work. I mean, see the amount and number of movies that are being made, see the web content, digital, all over, and see the new people coming in out there, and you can express anything on digital. So this is the freedom which never was. It has come now. And now, thanks to the social media also, the world's become smaller. If I raise an issue, it is picked up immediately by someone else. I have followed NCWs, the National Commission of Women. I've kind of worked a lot with them. If I write something on my handle and say, this is the problem happening, it's instantly picked up by somebody else and help reaches. So I think these are making the world smaller, more aware, more knit with each other, and these are better times to express yourself, absolutely.
Yeah, question at the back.
Hello, ma'am. First of all, I think it's unsaid that we all are really huge fans, and so the one scene which comes to my mind whenever I see you is that, like you said, the earring scene from Bhag Milka Bhag. So my mom says the same thing, that यहाँ पे लिखा होता है, like you just said, But then, like a lot of us panic. I mean, most of us have the same dream of becoming an actor and all that. Like that is the reason why many of us moved to Bombay. So many a times, most of us panic and we just want to start going. We'll go to Warsaw every day, okay, and you'll go to Aramnagar and you'll just see where there are queues and you'll go and be a part of it and you'll be wishing like, okay, fine, I might get my break here. So you wish that. And many a times there are people, okay, like most of us, we don't even know if we are that good at the craft, but we still go and get in the queues and wait in the queues. So is that right? Because like if I have a friend who just bagged 4 ads like back to back, okay, like huge channels, normally now everything print ads, and then I panic, okay, like he has done so much and I'm nowhere. I haven't got. So should we first learn and get into the auditions and stuff?
What's your name?
Amrit.
How will you learn? How will you learn? If you don't fall, how will you know how to get up? यहाँ खड़े होके मैं बोलूँगा इतने स्टेप चलूँगी तो करेक्ट हो जाएगा शायद ना वहाँ शायद खड्डा पड़ गया who knows. I have to walk that path myself to see if that is my path. How many times can I fall? Can I always get up when I fall? If not, I'll go back. But if I think I enjoy that, I can get up every time and walk a few more steps. That's life for you. You learn that. So give yourself a chance to make mistakes, to make blunders. They're yours. That's your life. So just control that and not compare it to other people. It's their life. They probably got bigger breaks than you. I had my peers. Rani Mukherjee came with me. She got bigger breaks than me. I was sitting there and I was not jealous of her. She's a super talented girl. And I got my dues much later, but I did because the industry will respect talent eventually. So you have to be ready. Nasir Sahib used to say, यहाँ लोग आते हैं कि हमको एक्टर बनना है, बस अपने आप को वक्त नहीं देते. यहाँ पे आप टाइम फ्रेम नहीं दे सकते कि मैं 1 साल. How many of you say कि मैं 1 साल देखूंगा यार, फिर पापा बोल रहे हैं कि 1 साल बाद आ जाना बिजनेस करने. How many of you have parents like that or you think like that?
No, my parents are actually are okay with everything.
Then you're lucky. I'm saying a lot of people come with deadlines for themselves. So you have to be prepared that you don't know what tomorrow holds for you. You might need. It's taken me how many years? 17, 18 years to just find my niche, to know where I belong, what I enjoy doing. And I still feel a newcomer. The journey has just begun. It feels great. But those 6, 7 years, I have made mistakes, major mistakes. Not signing something, not getting a role that I wanted, feeling majorly rejected, of course. And coming from a protected background, when you do, and when you're rejected, it's not a great feeling. So what you really need with yourself is either a very strong family background or some super duper crazy mad friends who tell you it's all good. Because they kind of stabilize you and you can go back to where you are, totally fending for your own self. There's nobody going to look after you. But listen, please jump into the water and see the tide for yourself.
So what have been your biggest regrets so far? Among the mistakes that you say you've made in your career, what is
no
the biggest
regrets at all. I think it's my journey and I love it.
Yay.
Absolutely.
We have about 5 minutes into the session, so.
मैम आप काफी टाइम से पंजाबी इंडस्ट्री में भी काम कर रहे हैं.
आप पंजाबी हो? जी. आप लगते हो?
लुधियाना से ही हूँ.
अरे वाह. किधर से हो आप?
हैदराबाद. तो गुरदास मान साहब के साथ आपने फिल्म की, आप आवाज पंजाबी में भी थे, आपने पंजाबी थिएटर भी किया है. I remember you from those times. So, ma'am, I would just like to ask you one question. How is your background, or a cultural background, or like you have worked in the Punjabi industry, so that helped you in breaking in this inner circle of the Mumbai industry?
पंजाबियों का क्या काम होता है? सबसे पहले क्या बोलते हैं? जी. अब मैं शेखर जी को जी ही बोलूंगी, ऑफ कोर्स मैं आज भी उनको जी ही बोलूंगी. लेकिन यहाँ क्या होता है, मैं अगर मैं जिसको भी मिलती थी, अपने से छोटे को भी मिलती थी, मम्मी पापा ने यही सिखा के भेजा था कि बेटा जी जरूर बोलना है, रिस्पेक्ट, ओके. तो यहाँ पे कल्चर अलग है. यू हैव टू टॉक वन ऑन वन. इट टुक मी इयर्स टू रियलाइज दैट वन ऑन वन वर्क्स बेटर हियर. इट डजंट टेक अवे द रिस्पेक्ट, but it works better. That plus then पंजाब का कल्चर क्या है, बहुत प्रोटेक्टिव. ना जी हमारी बेटी या हमारा बेटा, खाना खाया बेटा, ये किया बेटा, वो तो स्पून फीडिंग होती है, वो मेरे को लगता है पंजाब में नहीं होती, हर जगह होती है. But it's protected. When you leave that place, I lived alone for 3 years. I used to psych my mother out every phone call 10 minutes. Mama, this happened. So she left her surgeries and she said, "Tu bol, tu kya keh rahi hai?" My granny finally said, "Listen, why don't you just drop your job for a few months? Just go to your daughter. She can't do without you right now." So she took a premature retirement to be with me. I mean, she was really lovely to do all that. But I needed my mother that time as a support system. क्योंकि वो protection की इतनी आदत है. बाहर से कोई आ जाता था, हाँ जी, would you like to come for a coffee? अब coffee I would get shivers. Coffee मतलब का क्या हुआ? What does coffee mean? Coffee हुई तो ठीक है, अगर कुछ और बोल दिया, how will I deal with it? I will cry. Then I thought I'll sign a film. I would get a signing amount. Then they would tell me, sorry, वो कोई और आ गया इस film में. Overnight, I'm supposed to shoot परसों, and today I get to know I'm not in the film anymore. Howling, crying, looking at all the pictures that I believed in all the gods and saying, "What are you doing? I'm a brilliant actor, you're not giving me chances." And one day I packed my bags and said, "Okay, adios, going back." That very same day I get a call from Pamela Rooks saying, "I want to audition you for Train to Pakistan." And I took all my glamorous pictures, like, this is what works. And she said, "Horrible pictures, doesn't work." Gone, okay, my bags are packed already. She said, "But I like you, for who you are, the child woman that you are. This is exactly what I need. No makeup, nothing, just be yourself." So that's when I learned, you shouldn't try being somebody else. I am me. And you, from your protected backgrounds, come and kind of discover that you gradually, but find out who you are, what you like doing, what makes you happy, what are your dreams. Then chase them with all the passion, all the perseverance, all the patience. This might take you time, but it will be yours eventually.
Any more questions?
Done?
Any more questions?
Can I?
Yeah, please.
We are talking about freedom of speech and freedom of expression. We have seen that people from cinema, people from Bollywood speak most of the times when there is some issue regarding some social problem in India. But they don't talk much about the problems that are there in Bollywood itself. They don't talk about pay parity for women a lot. There are movements happening abroad like Me Too and Time's Up. We don't see such movements in India. So what is your take on this?
What's your name?
Surya.
Surya, when I come here invited to an event, what do I need? The support of the audience.
Yeah.
The support of who's invited me here.
Yes.
Then I feel confident to take on the stage.
Yeah.
What if I say, okay, I'm going to make a speech and you guys are just talking to yourselves. Nobody's bothered. I'll feel what? Alone.
Yeah.
The Me Too thing that happens abroad, they have a proper union. If anyone is alone, they will be backed by that union.
Okay.
It's not like we don't raise voices. You please open all your social medias. Women and actresses and everyone, I think they started talking. They have. Yes, we're not naming people because it doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't. Then come and stand with me. Say, okay, fight that guy and I'm with you. Will you do that? Will you see that work still comes to you, because that might be a biggie. So you have to be aware, one thing, of things that are happening. You need to learn to say no yourself to things. It's my choice. There's no point taking it out unless, of course, I have people here. So it will take time. It will come. I'm sure in a few years you will hear names as well. They will come in. But give it some time. We are very harsh on ourselves. So, hone do, dheere dheere hoga sir. It will happen. Yes.
And I think we end on that note. Thank you so much, Divya.
Thank you so much.
Shekhar sir will now felicitate